talking, what's the word? Everything you never heard. We be talking, oh, we talking.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Welcome back to another episode of We Be Talking. I'm your girl Tamara. That's my girl Kim on the bottom. And that's my girl Shika on the side. Listen, we have a really excited topic for you guys today. But before we go into a topic, I just want y'all to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, tell a friend to tell a friend about us. So thank you guys for the support that you already given us. We have some people that we want to shout out that always watch us every week. Ashley, want to shout you out. Hey girl, how you doing? Also, yeah, right. Hey, Ashley. Also, Jasmine, thank you for watching. We love you guys. And thank you for the support.
Michaela, my girl Michaela and Brittany.
Thank y'all for watching. Yes.
Michaela and Brittany. And my brother Mac, Emeka.
Hey, Mac.
Love the show. So I just want to say, hey, Mac, thank you.
Yeah. Our topic today is we are going to be discussing different views on oral sex.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. What may seem, a little bit taboo to some people may not be taboo to some people at all. Everybody have their own point of view or whatever. So that's what we're going to explore today when it comes to oral sex, right? Right? Y'all ready? She can start us off. What you think?
Like the gagging, the choking, like, because first off, I guess I don't know how to do it. Like, I'm not I don't know how to like put it in my throat. I'm not that type of person.
Kim is finished. Growing up in Jamaica, I didn't even, to be honest to you, I never heard about oral sex until I came to America. I came to America around 10 years old. So I never heard of oral sex, never knew what it was. Never knew what it was until I came. Until I came to America. And those times, like back in the late 80s and 90s, I was born in 1981. So oral sex, very taboo. And then even right now in the islands, it's still somewhat taboo. Not as bad as it used to be before, where it was like, oh no. I remember here in America going to a church where the members were predominantly Jamaican and Caribbean folks go to this church, and the pastor used to preach like oral sex, you don't do it, you don't use, that's, you use your mouth to praise the Lord, not to do that perverted stuff. And that's what they used to preach. So, and even in the 90s back in New York where I grew up, oral sex was taboo. Like if you did it, you had to, you were like a hoe or whatever. It was very taboo. It was down, it wasn't something that was out like it's now today. Like anybody today.
I remember back in the day, it was more so white girls that were.
Yes.
And that was
girls do
like
that.
White girl. But everybody was putting that thing in their mouth.
When I was growing up, like in, my background, it was no way. You don't do that. You don't put that. They used to say this, we don't eat under the table. We eat on top of the table. We don't eat under the table. That's meaning to say you don't go down on somebody or whatever. And even in like, they had songs that was like condemning oral sex, and anybody who did it was like, okay, you'll be condemned to death if you do it and you nasty and so, but now it's different. It's way different than it was before. But like I said, different people have different views. So what were y'all views growing up? Because mine was like way different. So what were y'all views?
You really want to know my view?
Yeah, growing up, like what were you taught about it? Like what did you hear about it?
Okay, so here's the thing. My family was very open with a lot of things, even when it came to sex, right? But we didn't discuss oral sex. My mom never discussed oral sex with me. I found out about oral sex from my peers, people in school, my boyfriend, TV. I heard about it other ways, mostly in school is where I heard about oral sex. And I remember the first time I think I heard this guy, he was like, he said something about let him eat my kitty cat or something like that. And my first thought, and I mind you, like we were in what, 7th grade. And I said, in my mind, I'm like, I don't even have a cat.
Right.
Like, no.
And if I did, why would you want to eat my
Like, why you
cat?
want to? Like, that's some nasty stuff. And then the more I researched and heard people talk about it, and I was like, what? And then I kind of caught on as he kept going. I'm like, no. And I'm like, oh my God, why would you want to do that? And,
Right.
But my views on oral sex, like I said, I learned from my friends. I learned from, check this out, porn, back in, like, okay, so, because you didn't, it wasn't something that your parents sat down and said,
right.
hey, girl, you supposed to take that. No, nobody really sat down and said, you spit on it,
Oh my God.
I was joking. No. Honestly, it ain't something. And even today, now I talk to my girls about sex and oral sex, but it's a manner of the dangers, or why are you doing it? What's the purpose of sex? Like, what when to have sex, of that matter. And we talk about oral sex and all of that good stuff, but I didn't even get talked to about oral sex. Now, of course, they talked to me about sex. My mom talked to me about sex, when to do it, what not to do, how to do it, and all that good stuff. Like, she talked to me. I was educated on.
Wow.
But
I think that's amazing.
No,
that's amazing. Because I never, my mom never talked to me about sex like that.
No,
the only sex talk that I had with my mom was, if you have sex with a boy and get pregnant, when we lived in New York, me and my sister could attest to this. If you have sex with a boy and get pregnant, you will be living in the subway with the rats.
Yeah.
My mom told me, she was just telling me, because of like I said, the background I grew up in, wait till marriage when it comes to sex and the dangers if you do outside of that, and you don't want to give your body, like, stuff. We talked about stuff like that. Now that we go into detail of, you can have orgasm, because I know some people really are very detailed with their children when it comes to sex and how to have sex. I've heard of it. Yeah, they would like, teaching them certain things. So, but no,
I think that's good. I think the more information you have, you make a better decision. When you have more information, you make an informed decision, instead of trying to go out there trying to figure stuff out. You know what I'm saying? And then fall into the wrong thing or whatever, experimenting and all that stuff. So,
well, as y'all know,
but as far as oral sex goes, I learned through other things, and I really didn't have a lot of experience with it. It was very frustrating as far as me giving it. Now, me receiving was a whole different story.
Kim.
So let me move. She gone. I know. No, so
being honest. Y'all want to get up here and like, you two are some of the nastiest. Not just like.
Nobody said nothing about you being nasty. What I want to say is,
they're wholesome.
You're being honest,
girls.
Oh, whatever, man. Look, you being honest, and I appreciate that. Honestly, from where I came from, we were sheltered. When I say sheltered, I mean sheltered. Cindy was not playing it. Like, we didn't talk about it. You ain't need to talk about it, because that means you interested in doing it. That was something I said. So I'm like you. What we learned, or what we thought we were learning, we learned it from school, or we learned it from, teachers or older cousins and stuff like that. That would say, you don't know that. Even they were mom and them was so good and slick that we didn't really find porn like that. We didn't find little thing. It was one little thing I remember finding. God, do I need to say this? Anyway, it was one little thing we found. They must not have known it was there, but we had the Bebe's Kids tape. And if y'all watching, oh well. We had the Bebe Kids tape, right? And we would watch it all the time, over and over and over again. And a little while to start skipping and stuff like that. So somebody had recorded over the Bebe Kids tape. So that's what we would see. Once we seen it, we were like, what's that? And so we would just wait till they leave, and then Watch it.
No, my brother, I had an older brother that lived with me. He was much older than me, like high school, and I was elementary school. And so he had a lot of tapes that he would record over. And that's how I was introduced to porn. Very early, I was introduced to porn. And here's a little nugget. For a little while, I was so shocked about it. Like, I think I was like fifth grade. And even though you know, they were doing oral sex and stuff on that, it still didn't click when the boy said, let him eat my kitty cat. That's how naive I was. I was watching it.
Very
click. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, why would you want to eat? I ain't got no cat.
Right.
So, no, but porn, that's how I saw porn. And that's why I was so, I guess you could say I sheltered my kids when it came to what they watched when they were smaller. I was very strict on what to watch because
I don't let mine watch SpongeBob, honestly. Like some things I just don't.
I didn't want them to come across anything remotely close to what I shouldn't have been watching that. I knew it was wrong.
Right.
None of my mama. I was up. Ooh, look at ooh, that's a big one.
No. So we never got to talk about it. We never got that. We weren't going on birth control, none of that, because now you have a right to go out and do whatever you want to do. But me and my sister, we were raised, I'm for real, like in a totally sheltered environment, because my mama, like I said times before, she started really early. She was just determined that her girls was not gonna be like that. And I think we couldn't even pretty much be around some of our cousins who were a little freer to do whatever they wanted to do, because she was like, no, you're not gonna be like that, you're not gonna do this. But I commend her for caring, but it kind of hurt us as we got older. I was
just about to ask you.
We were naive to a lot of stuff. And if anybody who's ever joined the military, everything is everything,
Culture
coming
shock.
from a sheltered place into you grown, you do what you want to do, you serving your country, you do what you want to do. It was a big culture shock. Yeah. So when I got to my first ship, they were having lingerie parties. Like I said, they were having lingerie parties. And I was just like, this is so not what we're supposed to do.
Do you want to talk about one of them little lingerie parties? Do you want to talk about
Well, I didn't go because I was so sheltered, like I said before.
Yeah.
What about that one
party?
I
remember she said she had to call her mom to say, Mom, she was in Guam.
Right, but what about that one party though? I ain't gonna do that.
Girl, I'm like, take me back, girl. No,
do you want me to take you back in real life?
What party?
With a guy, he was confident, and then he wouldn't.
Oh, no. That wasn't a party. That was actually at MEPS. That was at the night before MEPS. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, the night before you got shipped off the boot camp.
Right. So that was right before.
They introduced you early. They introduced you early.
Like I was just coming from my mom's house, like sheltered. And then to get to MEP station, everybody like, oh, this new. Oh, she knew or he knew, everything was new. And so my little mind, I'm like, they can't possibly be interested in what I got because ain't nobody ever seen it. Ain't nobody ever looked at it, It was so new to me. But I knew enough to not, give it away or to not be a hoe pretty much. And not saying I didn't have my time where I experimented and I did stuff like that, but it was very, very shocking for me. And I did date somebody. I did date somebody that oral sex was like everything for him. Like it's just like he ain't got nothing but that. You know what I mean? No, I'm saying like it was like you don't know how to do nothing else. I'm for real. I'm serious.
Again, you see Tamara's face, you were like, I did date somebody who like oral sex was everything for him. She was like, ooh.
I was about to ask, do y'all remember y'all very first experience with oral sex? What was it, a disaster? What was it like?
Oh God. I immediately got because it wasn't a disaster for me. Oh boy, where do I start? But yeah, I remember. It was with my husband. He was my first. So he was what introduced me to or
No, Kim, what you say, Kim?
I don't remember.
you know, I do. And only like I said,
It was not a thing for me. It was not a thing.
No, but the only reason I remember my first experience with it because most of my first everything was with my husband.
With Daniel, yeah.
So, yeah, I remember.
But what did it live up to the hype that everybody was putting it at? Like, because it didn't for me.
I think even with sex,
and I'm gonna say
even with sex, the first time, even with sex, the first time,
yeah,
it's never gonna live up to the hype.
No. I was gonna say with sex when I first had sex. Oh God, that's a story all in itself. It was not good. It was very painful. I mean, it was. We didn't know we were kids, and I was just like, and I remember like this is what everybody. What did they?
Right, like what's the big deal?
What is going on? It took a couple times. It took a couple rodeos for me to be like, okay, this is what they talking about. But oral sex came in later into our relationship. It wasn't like when we first started having sex.
Started out with that,
we were just regular. He was just trying to get me from being like to and
open
so
up.
Right, to open up like a flower. Y'all seen that movie? Wait, it was a movie he said, and your daughter open up like a flower for me. But anyway, that's so no, but he was just trying to get me to, be comfortable, whatever. So when oral sex was introduced, compared to like the first time I had the sex, and then the first time he did that, it was like, oh, hey, party out here, boop, boop. So I enjoyed receiving it. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm about to say. My first time receiving it, it was a life-changing experience. My life changed forever. I
was like, okay.
Yes, like what in the world? Like what? Like what? Like what's happening? Legs shaking and everything. Never in my life like experiencing anything like that,
I think I was more so, I felt like, I knew I wasn't going to return favor, so I felt guilty the whole time.
And that was,
like, I'm not doing that,
Yeah.
Yep, Kim, and that was part of the reason why I was introduced so late, because I was like, I ain't putting that in my mouth. It was very intimidating. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, It's very intimidating. I had heard so many things about it.
I came out of a Pentecostal background when I was younger, coming out too. So it was like definitely taboo.
And it was.
Yeah, and I was gonna get into it when I got saved and gave my life to the Lord, and we were together and we learned things about oral sex. But that's a whole nother story. That's like
we're gonna get that part two.
We're gonna talk about part 2 about the church mindset on oral sex.
On oral sex, yes.
We learned. But yeah, so
I do have a quick little story.
Oh,
I ain't gonna say no names, but I'm gonna talk about it.
Go ahead and talk about it. Talk about it.
Nah. So I was dating this guy, and like I said, I felt guilty because I wasn't doing it.
Vernon, don't watch the show.
He knows.
He already know the story.
He know the story because I talk about it. No, I talk about it because I almost felt pressure. You know what I mean? And I was like set in my mind, I'm not doing it. All of my friends that I was hanging with, they were doing it. I'm just like, I'm not doing it. And he would say things like, well, if you ever, we don't ever make it or whatever, you better not ever, do it for nobody else, pretty much. I'm like, I was like, well,
So he felt like you owed him. That belonged to him.
Yeah. And it had got to a point where he would bring it up when we would be out to eat with his family or family members. He would be throwing out hypothetical questions. Like, what if your girl didn't do this and that? Or what if your significant other didn't?
He sounded ready.
And I would feel bad because, my cousins and my sisters, they would be like, well, what's going on? Why? what's holding you back? What's outside? I'm just not interested in that. Like I'm not.
Nobody want to put that thing in their
I
mouth.
yeah, and so it had got to a point where it was like, even if I thought about like, okay, I'm gonna do it, he would say stuff that made me like, I'm definitely not doing it because I felt pressure, and so moved on and whole another relationship, and from time to time again he would call, because we never left on bad terms pretty much, and he was like, I know you're not doing that. I know you better not be doing this. And I'm like, sir.
Who are you to tell me what I'm gonna put in my mouth and I'm not even with you?
So the thing about it is, for young women that are listening, don't ever feel pressure to do something you don't want to do.
And
it's your choice.
I felt pressured into. That's one of the reasons why. I mean, me and my husband, we've had this conversation before, but one of the reasons why I did it, because he was like, well, it ain't about you liking it, it's about you wanting to please me. If you love me, because I love you, and so from that aspect, I'm like, well, I love him. If he wants,
I do, yeah.
I did. I felt like, man, I love him so much. I want him to think I don't love him. And again, I was young. It was my first, all that good stuff. So I'm like, I love him. I want him to know. I want him to know how much I love him. So that's how same kind of similar how it came about. And I actually I'm not gonna say, because God, I can't believe I'm about to say this. I actually started feeling like I like doing it, but I never enjoyed the process. It was just the fact that he knew it was more like, I'm doing this because I love it.
Right.
So when Girls Trip came out, you got a lesson.
You
know what I'm talking about.
Y'all know what? I really want to put Kim out here on this one, but
I'm being real. I'm being honest. So the way you talking, like when you sing Girls Trip, with the grapefruit, you like, what? Huh?
Yeah, but I was never like, even though I saw, her do the grapefruit analogy, and my thing is, that's gonna be too messy. I got 2 sets of twins. Who got time to go be getting grapefruits, cutting them up, making circles?
Send one of them to go get it.
Megan, go downstairs, get that grapefruit from the refrigerator. Look, put it in the microwave for about 10 seconds real quick so it'll be warm.
He's like, Mommy, I want some grapefruit. Then you cut me some.
So, I mean, Kim, so with the Girls Trip, did you learn something?
Oh, of course I did. I didn't know nothing about no grapefruit until I seen Girls Trip.
I didn't either. And then I think me and you kind of had that conversation about it. But I don't even think, Tamara, what about you? I mean, you feel like you knew something about the grapefruit.
Before the Girls Trip?
No. I think that was the first time I heard about the grapefruit. It never even crossed my mind that you could do that. Who thinks of that?
I was thinking, would it burn them? Like, what if
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's acidic and all that stuff.
In the movie, it did burn him. In the movie, it did.
Oh, Kim, do you know if it burned in real life?
Huh? Sheikah, you coming for me, girl? Are you coming for me? I don't think you do. I ain't had no complaint.
I'm so dirty. I'm so dirty for that one. But honestly, I don't. I never tried the grapefruit. I never did.
No,
it was
messy. It looks like
it's too much.
It's not messy like
that. Well, thank you for telling me that.
Edit this part out.
Oh no,
I'm not.
Oh no, it's going up. No, but my whole thing is, I never tried the grapefruit. I didn't want to be bothered with all that juice. If you're doing oral sex anyway, it's real juicy. Okay, so I didn't want to. That's
that
too
made
much.
my stomach turn when you said juicy like slime. I cannot. I cannot.
Y'all, this is an inside joke.
Oh God.
No, it was this way. Because you know them.
Y'all ever let me live that down?
But
never.
Here's the thing. We're gonna leave y'all with this question. y'all feel like oral sex supposed? I know I ain't asking these 2021 millennials this question because everybody oral sex. Because think about it, right now, oral sex is it's
the way they doing it. Mm-hmm.
It's a normal. It's an in Western culture, oral sex is a normal thing. It's not even something people really debate about anymore, really, to be honest.
Man, why are you so quiet about oral sex? How you feel about it? What's your thoughts?
Listen.
How you feel about oral sex?
I told you how I feel about oral sex. I personally don't. I'm right here where it is. If you show me somewhere in the Bible where I shouldn't, or it's wrong, or you tell me and I understand, this is where I'm at. I could drop it like no problem. It's not, you know what I'm saying? But I'm okay with oral sex. I ain't seen nothing wrong with it personally.
Holy Ghost himself to say.
Absolutely. You can't. I don't want your opinion. I don't care about what your opinion is, because your personal opinion.
Y'all see what our next show is. We're gonna go into biblical reasons about oral sex. We already got a fight over here because we've already had this conversation. And here she goes trying.
I'm not fighting it at all.
I don't want your opinion. So
one thing I'm never ever gonna do, if you can prove it in the word, I'm down with it. I will not resist, but you got to prove it in the word. You can't give me your opinion and think I'm gonna go with that.
All right, no, I just playing. I'm joking.
You guys can see this will be a juicy topic next.
And I'm pretty sure, you know.
Of course, a lot of people
prove it in the word.
We're gonna have a special
nobody
guest
gonna
on.
prove it.
We're gonna have a special guest on that really gonna get down and dirty with it when it comes to it. So and just keep in mind again, who created sex? Where did it come from? Where's the origin? And we're gonna go into all of that, the origin of it. What's the purpose? And you know, and why oral sex?
I'm ready. I want to learn some stuff.
Okay, I'm excited.
Me too.
You like to eat it or suck it?
That's your business. Stuck on.
Eat on, lick it. Oh, do what you do. Don't come here.
What is our thumbnail gonna be? Tell your dad I said.
I'm just saying, comment down below how you feel about, or what are your thoughts about oral sex. We just want to know.
It's been a great show. I am so happy you guys have tuned in. Comment down below.
We have come to the end of part 1, and we're gonna see you next week with the continuation of this topic. Like we said, we're gonna have a biblical perspective on oral sex. So stay tuned. We want you guys to like, to comment, to subscribe, share, tell a friend about us. And we will see you next week. Stay tuned. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
We be talking, oh, talking.